This is the AEW Collision September 6, 2025 full show results video, which takes place at 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The show started with a match between Jon Moxley vs. Daniel Garcia. Jon Moxley and Daniel Garcia battled in a hard-hitting, technical showdown. The match opened with classic lockups, Garcia showing early dominance with a drop toe hold and STF. Moxley fired back with strikes and punishing elbows, but Garcia relentlessly targeted his leg, wrapping it around the ring post and applying a figure four. Marina Shaffer briefly distracted Garcia, allowing Moxley to gain control with a dropkick. Garcia responded with a piledriver on the apron and a swinging neckbreaker inside the ring. The intensity escalated with a superplex and Garcia locking in the Lion Tamer, nearly forcing Moxley to submit. Both men exchanged brutal chops, kicks, and slaps, fighting to exhaustion. After a dramatic sequence that saw both crash to the floor, they re-entered the ring for a final exchange. Garcia nearly stole the victory with multiple roll-ups, but Moxley countered with a quick roll-up of his own to secure the hard-fought win. After the match, a dejected Daniel Garcia whispered something to Marina Shaffer as she applauded him, while Daddy Magic came down to console him. Tony Schiavone attempted an interview, but Garcia vented his frustration, saying 5 years of incredible performances have left him with nothing. He admitted he always gets back up after falling, yet sometimes it still isn't enough. Disheartened, Garcia declared it's been a good 5 years before angrily dismissing the cameraman. Backstage, Big Bill and Brian Keith cut a promo, and Bill reflects on Philadelphia being the place where his life once hit rock bottom before tearing down the city. He reminds everyone he's a former AEW World Tag Team Champion and vows to fight anyone, claiming true toughness comes from New York City. Bill then calls out a fellow New Yorker who runs his mouth too much and doesn't know his place, Eddie Kingston. The next match happened between FTR vs. Adam Priest and Dynamite Kid Tommy Billington. The match kicked off with Cash and Priest locking up, followed by quick tags from both teams. Early momentum shifted back and forth, with Priest stunning Cash with a big dropkick and Billington hitting a top rope dropkick on Dax. The duo executed stereo suplexes and even landed a double flying headbutt for a near fall. FTR, however, regained control by isolating their opponents and using classic double team tactics. Billington and Priest showed resilience, countering submissions and dishing out double German suplexes, but FTR's experience proved too much. After sending Billington to the floor, Dax superplexed Priest, and FTR sealed the victory with their signature powerplex combination, showcasing their dominance and ring chemistry in a hard-fought, competitive battle. After the match, Dax attacks Priest until Billington makes the save. Stokely grabs a mic, blames Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, vows their downfall, and closes with Top Guys out. We then get a vignette with the Outrunners in the woods and we see that Dalton Castle is back. In the parking garage, Jon Moxley questions what Darby Allin truly wants and what he could possibly take from him. Reflecting on their shared past as outcasts, Moxley admits it breaks his heart, but vows to put Darby in the ground at All Out. The next match happened between Toni Storm, Mina Shirakawa, Kris Statlander, and Harley Cameron vs. Thekla, Julia Hart, Skye Blue, and Megan Bayne. The match kicked off with Thekla charging at Toni Storm, but Storm countered with strikes and a backbreaker before tagging in Mina. Storm and Mina double-teamed Thekla, who quickly tagged in Julia Hart. Harley Cameron entered, but Kris Statlander soon took control, nearly pinning Hart. Mina re-entered and battled Hart, but chaos erupted when Thekla, Skye Blue, and Megan Bayne pulled opponents off the apron. Mina DDT'd Hart before tagging Storm, who unleashed suplexes and a hip attack on Blue. Outside the ring, Statlander launched Mina onto Bayne. Back inside, Storm German suplexed Hart but was speared by Thekla. The action escalated as Bayne and Statlander clashed, both taking each other out. Cameron dropped Blue, leaving both down. In the closing moments, Hart locked Statlander in a hold, but Kris broke free, countered with a faceplant, and rolled up Julia Hart for the hard-fought victory. The fast-paced match showcased non-stop teamwork, chaos, and resilience, with Statlander ultimately securing the win. After the match, Toni Storm tried to save Hart and Blue from the Triangle of Madness but was overwhelmed. Mina rushed in for backup but was quickly taken down, with Thekla spearing her in the ring. As they targeted Storm, Jamie Hayter's music hit, and she stormed the ring, taking out Thekla until Hart and Blue pulled her to safety. Hayter offered Storm a hand, but Storm slapped it away, leading Statlander to step in as peacemaker. Storm then fired up and challenged Thekla, Hayter, and Statlander for a four-way world title bout at All Out. We then head to the back, where Lexi Nair is interviewing Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson on their plans after Jay White and Colton are out. Juice says it's time to get rid of the Cardboard Jay and Cardboard Colton and regroup. Tony Schiavone introduced AEW TNT champion Kyle Fletcher, Josh Alexander, and Don Callis, who made their way to the ring. Schiavone noted that if Mark Briscoe defeats Konosuke Takeshita, he'll earn a TNT title shot. Callis praised Fletcher, claiming he's everything Kenny Omega was and more, boasting that he ended Omega and exposed Hangman Page. Alexander mocked Hangman, reflecting on their history, saying he's learned from past mistakes and will run through him for his family. Fletcher called Wednesday step 1 in bringing the AEW World title back to the Don Callis family, declaring Alexander vs. Hangman is step 2. Fletcher promised a long TNT title reign, vowed to fill the shoes of injured stars, and demanded an AEW World title shot at All Out, threatening to shelf Hangman like Omega. Fans booed as Fletcher proudly raised his title. We then head to the back, where Lexi Nair is interviewing the conglomeration. Kyle O'Reilly says they are cloning luchadors. Roderick Strong then calls Tomohiro Ishii a potato head. O'Reilly then says that Ishii is leaving for Japan for a few weeks. Strong then says he can stay there. O'Reilly then talks again about cloning technology. We then head to the parking lot, where Lexi Nair is interviewing Anthony Bowens. Nair asks Bowens how he is doing celebrity appearances. Jerry Lynn then shows up and tells Bowens how great he is with all the titles he has held. Lynn then tells Bowens to take a good, hard look in the mirror and figure out what is missing. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between Konosuke Takeshita vs. Mark Briscoe. The match began with Konosuke Takeshita locking up Mark Briscoe, but Briscoe quickly escaped and rolled him up for a near fall. Takeshita regrouped before poking Briscoe in the eyes, attempting a suplex that Briscoe countered with one of his own. As Briscoe stood on the apron, Takeshita struck his legs, sending him crashing to the floor before rolling him back into the ring. Takeshita applied a headlock, but the crowd rallied behind Briscoe, who fought back with stiff shots and chops. Briscoe connected with a huge brainbuster for a near fall. Takeshita recovered, hoisting Briscoe up and delivering a devastating Blue Thunder powerbomb, scoring a close 2 count as the hard-hitting contest continued with momentum shifting back and forth. After the match, chaos erupted as MJF stormed the ring and blindsided Mark Briscoe. Konosuke Takeshita showed clear frustration with MJF's actions, but Don Callis held him back. Briscoe fired back, attacking MJF, and the two brawled furiously until security rushed in to separate them, while fans loudly chanted "Let them fight." Retreating to the stage, MJF grabbed a microphone and insulted Briscoe, calling him a white trash piece of S***T, before daring him to name the match, place, and time. Briscoe declared the place would be All Out and promised to reveal the stipulation soon, warning MJF he had just signed his own death warrant. How would you rate this week's AEW Collision show? Tell me in the comments, and thanks for watching.